My name is Ryan Christopher. Birth name is actually Christopher Ryan Clark, and I am a wardrobe stylist. Wow, my childhood was actually a very good childhood growing up. My sister and I both share the same mother and father, so of course we grew up in the same household. Um, we grew up having literally everything we needed and some of the things we wanted. My mother would keep us in the latest, back then, Tommy Hilfiger and Oshkosh B'gosh and all those things that little kids would wear was like the hottest things. And my mother definitely made sure that we were kind of, laced in the greatest. And I do think that is something that helped shape my love of clothing, or just putting outfits together. I didn't know that as a little boy, but as I grew older, I do think that, my mother having us so well kept and well put together kind of shaped my love for clothes. I think my parents were role models, because to see that young, to see a married couple both, making a way for their family and providing for their family. And two, my mother and my father are both very ambitious people. So they literally worked hard to provide. They made a great living for my sister and myself. And so I think for the one thing that I could see and growing up, those are definitely role models. And I think that helps the ambition in me to keep going, to always want to do better and strive to do better. Now, as I got older and realized that, this styling and fashion thing was something that interests me, I would definitely say that Rachel Zoe was a big inspiration to me. I always said that I wanted it to be the black male version of Rachel Zoe in the South. I think I'm kind of on that road right now, but I just liked her ambition. She knew every designer. She was friends with every designer. She had all the and still has all the A-list clients. She had the television show. It was just like, I want to be this white woman, but I want to be the male black version of this white woman. It wasn't until I started undergrad, I started attending Miles College. That's where I began to kind of pick up this sense of being into fashion and style, because I used to do fashion shows on the campus. And that's what really woke that fire in me, or lighted that fire in me. I never knew people got paid to put clothes together. I never knew that was a thing. I never knew that was a career. I think a lot of us, people my age, back then our parents never said, oh, you could be a hairstylist, you could be a makeup artist, you could be a designer, you could be a stylist. Those just weren't things that, and it's nothing bad on them. It's just something that they weren't accustomed to. And we didn't grow up accustomed to knowing that these could literally be careers for people. So when I started doing the fashion shows and then started learning like, oh, get paid for this, I was like, okay, this I may awaken the beast here. So that kind of ignited that whole love for fashion and style. And putting those fashion shows together was a lot of work. And it's something I used to do back then, and I kind of buried the hatchet on that and just continued with the styling. There are several moments I think that have stood out for me in my career. One of which that just happened back in April, and that was being featured on the Tamron Hall show. And it's so interesting. Someone texted me and said that Tamron Hall was looking for stylists. And maybe a month after that, I got a call saying I was booked on the Tamron Hall show. And I was like, wow. The day before Tamron Hall was just a day of, it started off as a day of pure hell. I have really, really bad allergies, right? And my allergies were on 1,000. And by this time, I'm in New York. So my stomach in knots, I'm in the hotel room. I'm like, oh my God, like really what is going on? That night before Tamron was just, I don't even know if I have the words to describe it. It was just like a chaotic tornado. I'm filming a live national television show. So like I said, the devil is around to kill and destroy. and try to get you not to come to your true destiny. And in those moments, that's when the Ryan Christopher shows up. And I think in that moment, it was like, okay, Ryan Christopher needs to come into action. In this moment, it is time to perform. And so, hey, I did. So I do put that in my book as one of my biggest accomplishments in my career thus far. And also doing the I Am Monique Netflix special would be my next biggest, or hell, ain't the next biggest. I think it's side by side one of the biggest accomplishments of my career thus far. To receive that phone call for that was amazing. And honestly, being that day of the filming, I kind of got a little full backstage. I don't think I realized the complexity of what I was doing until I was there. I had a little moment to myself. It was really something that just says you can do this, and to keep going, and to know that you never know who's watching you, because that wasn't something that I sought after. So that definitely shows you just never know who's watching. So that is definitely, and for Netflix to even submit me for an Emmy for that was just amazing. I didn't get the nomination, but to receive the communication that they were actually submitting my work for an Emmy, I think it's just, out of here. Like, it's just like, what? Whether I got the nomination or not, I didn't care. I still feel like I'm Emmy nominated, even though I'm really not. In my career, I think I have been able to not necessarily get a lot of stereotypes, because I'm just me and I'm real. I think I come in very authentic. I'm able to really kind of, resonate with people because of that authenticity, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Now, I do know that my personality sometimes can, when I walk into a room or walk into an environment, it's just like, whoa. So sometimes I do try to watch certain things that I may wear and do, because I understand that I already attract attention. So it's like, those moments you kind of have to know, let me just tone that down, the outer me down, because the inner me is already gonna shine. I dress one of the major pillars of the LGBT community, which is T.S. Madison. I mean, she's a staple for that community. I have clients in that sector, and I've worked with other trans people. I am not closed off to anybody. Let me say this, who I've been humbled and blessed to work with. I have to first say Lisa Ray McCoy. That was my very first client on my own. And I got to work with her on this season of The Queen's Court on Peacock. I also have worked with the likes of Elise Neal, Brandy Evans, Erica Dixon, Mimi Faust, Candy Burris, Letta C. I work with Day 26, Jamal Bryant. But I think the list will continue to grow on and on and on, just as my career continues to grow. You know what I mean? I think people always put a title on success. For me, I haven't put a cap on success. Most people say, oh, you've made it because you've done this, or you've made it because you did this. I don't necessarily think I've made it. I think I'm making it, and I'm going to continue to make it. I always want to be in the mindset that I'm making it, because I feel like that's what's going to push me to keep going and going further and try to, continue to grow.